So guys, I hope you watched the recent video 10 things I love about India. I assume you've read the title 10 things I hate about India, and let's not talk much, let's get into it. The first point on the list are a thing other people mentioned before. It's Indian websites, especially Indian government websites. Like if you're an Indian, you may think, oh, Indian websites, they all work fine, like the IRTC, like the train website and stuff like this. There's no problem with it. It works smooth and everything is fine, but no. It only works fine as long as you're an Indian. If you're a foreigner trying to use Indian websites, you're gonna face a lot of trouble. Like a lot of trouble. It starts with trying to get a visa, trying to get a account on the railway system, trying to extend a visa, all those things that are tied to the government. You're gonna open the website and you will notice the website looks like it's from the 1990s. India is like an IT powerhouse. They export IT knowledge all over the world. That's even how I came in contact with India for the first time, because I worked in IT with many people from TCS, Tata Consulting, and they do great work. Like India has like a IT science like no other country on the world, but still their websites, they look like a self-made website from the 1990s, and they don't work ever. Like, how to describe it? They simply don't work. Like small things like a few clicks of getting a visa can turn in like a week of chaos and hundreds of phone calls all over the world. Like often the websites are down. Even like Airtel. To this day I can't use the Airtel app because it always says the connection failed. Like there's just so much stuff if you try to do anything online in India, which may work for Indian citizens, but as soon as you switch to the foreigner version of the website, nothing is working. Absolutely nothing is working. To this day, after 5 journeys of India, after visiting all of India, I'm still not able to book a train online because it simply doesn't work. I paid like a fee to register my phone number like 10 times. I tried 10 different phone numbers, but to this day I can't use the Indian Railway online. Same with the visas, same with visa extensions, even with the update process. Even 6 months after India has been opened, the website still said that India is closed for tourists. So they don't update anything, nothing is working, they don't care about exploits. Like for example, I found a very critical exploit on the Indian visa extension website. I tried to report the exploit, nobody cared. So if you're interested in hacking someone's Indian visa account, you can do it. It's 2 clicks and you can do it to this day. It hasn't been fixed, they just ignored me. So Indian websites are a hell to go through, a hell to navigate through, and don't expect anything to work. Even if you're googling and searching like how easy is it to get a visa, or how easy is it to do this and that in India, Google might tell you, oh, it's very easy, it's just a few clicks, but be prepared for a long journey. So the thing that annoyed me the most about India is their websites, their government websites, and how this stuff works. Like India, if you see my last video, India is so convenient, but in this point India just makes a small thing a huge mountain, and yeah, losing a lot of tourists and visitors through this, because it's simply too complicated and nothing works. The next point I have for you guys are the touristy areas. And you now might think, what's wrong with the touristy areas? But let me tell you one thing. If you're a tourist and you're coming to India, one of the biggest mistakes you can do is to rent a hotel in some area that is touristy. Like let's say Mumbai Church Gate, Colaba, or Delhi Connaught Place. something like this. Like you look up on the internet, you see, oh, India Gate is there, perfect location, let's go there. But it's the biggest mistake you can do. You won't experience a tiny bit of India if you go to those places. What I can recommend is book an Airbnb or try to book a hotel somewhere in the area where you live with locals. And you're gonna have the best time of your life. Because if you're going to a touristy area, and the Indians might not understand this, but you're just leaving your house, your hotel, for 10 seconds. And you gotta be harassed. Like you can't even go to an ATM or go buy a bottle of water. You can't do it without being harassed by scammers and beggars and just anything. As soon as you leave your house in a touristy area, or as soon as you go to a touristy area as a foreigner, you gotta get approached like every 10 to 20 seconds by people telling you their story and how they want to scam you. Like trying to sell you a postcard for 300 rupees, telling you that their children need medicine, bringing you to a shop where you can buy a t-shirt for 5,000 rupees, bringing you to a tourist scam center where you can get a bus ride for 5,000 rupees. It's just insane. Like I wonder why I didn't even put it on the first place, but what I hate the most about India are the touristy areas and the people that spend their time there harassing tourists. Like there are so many people, even people I know, that visited India and they came back and they just said they hated it. They hated India. And I'm just like, why? How? It's such a wonderful place. But no, it's because they stayed in the touristy areas. And all they experienced from day to night was people trying to harass them, trying to scam them, and just anything. So if you're coming to India, if you're watching this and you're planning to come to India, never ever go to a touristy place. Like, yes, India Gate might be a good selfie, but you will have 1,000 times better experience if you're chilling in a local area and you enjoy. Like in a local area, everybody will ask you where you're from. Come to my family, join our dinner. Here you got some free food from our shop and everything. But once you're in the touristy area, it will be the opposite. Every shop will give you fake prices, like twice the price. Every 10 seconds, a person seemingly friendly will approach you and start a conversation like, oh, where you from? Oh, Germany. Oh, guten Tag. And then they will start telling a story about how they like Germany and how they need some money from you and stuff like this. Like it can ruin your entire experience. Like I've lived, as I said in the last video, I've been to India 5 times, and every time when I lived in a local area, it was the best time I ever had in my entire life. And I'm not just saying this. It's true. Like, check out my videos. You will find out. But every time I went to a touristy place, it was one of the worst times I ever had in my life. So, in India, make sure you don't just book the hotel that get ranked first or advertised first on booking.com in a touristy area 500 meters from the city center. It's the biggest mistake you can do. You will go back home and you will hate India. But if you make sure that you live in the middle of nowhere with local people, then you truly will enjoy. You will be part of the festivals, you will get invited to dinners, you will make friends. That's the biggest thing. You will make a lot of friends in India. But if you're in a touristy area, you will make a lot of friends. And in the end you will go home disappointed. So yeah, don't chill in touristy areas. Only go there if you want a selfie with the India Gate or what else, let's say the Humayun Tomb or anything like this, or maybe the Red Fort. But don't spend your time there. It's Like, it's like you're wasting a trip to India just to destroy your perception of India. So, like, that's the biggest advice out of everything I can tell to anyone coming to India. Do not chill at the touristy places. Do not chill in the city center. Instead, try to find a place where you live with the locals. Even if you have a 30-minute ride to the city center, it's so much more worth it. Like, you will have the best time ever, especially if you come in the festival season. So yeah, let's get to the next point. The next thing I truly hate about India is a thing you wouldn't have expected. Let me just call it the persons of authority. So there is some weird thing going on in India, which is like whenever a person has some like title or some reputation, they suddenly act like they're the king of the world, and they try to ruin your life if they notice you're not obeying like a slave. And this is the thing I actually got warned before even coming to India. Even my best friend in Germany, he's half Indian. And before I came to India the first time, 3 years ago, he told me, take care of people with authority. Like police guys, security guys, government officials, stuff like this. Because they have a weird kind of behavior, I don't know where it comes from, but they just behave like the biggest assholes you've ever encountered in your life. Like, I came to India, for example, in 2019, the first time I arrived. You maybe know this feeling, you're leaving the airplane and you're just super happy. You have this happy feeling in you, you're in a new world, you're in a new country, you've never been there before, and you're gonna enjoy. But the first encounter I ever had in my life with the Indian, well, it's probably the worst encounter I ever had with the Indian. Because the migration stuff, they had me to fill out some paperwork. And I had no pen, so I asked the staff for a pen. And he gave me the pen and said, give it back to me afterwards. And I was like, yeah, sure. So I filled out my stuff, filled out all the documents, went back to the desk, and the guy was not there. And I don't know if you ever migrated into India, but there are like the migration desks, there are always two people sitting on the desk. So one person was there, the second guy from who I borrowed the pen, he was gone. So what I did was, I talked to the second guy and I was like, excuse me sir, the man that's sitting next to you, he's probably on the toilet or something. He borrowed me his pen, so I'm gonna put his pen back into his pen holder. And he was like, yeah, sure, fine. Then I handed over my documents and I entered the country. But like 30 seconds after entering the country, I suddenly get grabbed super angry, and I have a guy behind me, and he's the guy from the migration, and he's just shouting at me. I've never heard a person shouting so loud at me. And he was like, you're gonna get arrested. He was like, he didn't even explain anything, he was just like, you will get arrested right now. And I was like, why sir? I didn't do anything wrong, I didn't bring any drugs, what did I do? I'm just migrated the country. And he was like, my pen, you stole my pen, so now you get arrested. And I was like, no, I didn't steal your pen. I used your pen and I put it back on your desk. And he was like, no, you were not supposed to put it back on my desk, you were supposed to give it back to me. And he made a big drama and they wanted to arrest me. And in the end, it somehow worked out and I entered India. But this was my first experience ever with India. So maybe the airport staff should think about the people they are hiring. So, and yeah, that was just one example. Second example was when early COVID, I was sitting at Connaught Place in Delhi, and nobody has been wearing a mask. Nobody, absolutely nobody has been wearing a mask. And I took my mask off to drink, even though I was the only person wearing a mask. And in that moment, the police came. And they got crazy. They started a huge debate They took away my passport and they said, you took off your mask, you have to pay for it now. So I had to pay money. And the second thing is, they said I have to say I'm sorry 50 times. I had to say 50 times, I'm sorry sir, I'm sorry sir, I'm sorry sir, so that I can get my passport back. Because I took my mask off for drinking in a place with like 1,000 people without masks. So never even think about messing with any people of authority in India. And expect them to be assholes. Like, out of all the people I've ever met in my life, the biggest assholes have been people of Indian authority. Like migration people, police officers, stuff like this. Like they just look for you and they want to bully you, and just ignore it, play with it, say thank you and I'm sorry, and try to get out of it. And yeah, the video is it's gonna be way too big. Like for every point I'm talking like 10 minutes, so let's fastly go to the next one. The next point I wanted to mention is a very simple thing. It's called queues. In the Western world, we know if you're waiting for a ticket, if you're waiting for some food, if you're waiting for just anything, there's a common reflex to build a queue of people. And the person that has been there first got served first. Be the first, get served first. It's very simple. But in India, this concept, it doesn't really make sense. In India, it's more like the more people you beat out of your way, the faster you're in the front, the faster you get served. That's the simplest I can put it. But if you've ever been to a queue at like an Indian airport, Delhi metro, maybe some food stall, or even in a bar, you will very, very quickly notice that nobody gives the slightest shit about a queue. People will just try to push you to the side, they will go in front of you and they won't even say anything, like it's the most normal thing ever. Like I've seen a lot of videos and other people complaining, and I can 100% confirm it. A lot of Indian people, they don't care at all about the system of queues. So if you're in India, you're waiting for something, just push, fight for your life, press yourself through all the sweating bodies and just go to the counter. Because otherwise you're gonna waste hours of your lifetime just because everybody will ignore you. You will stand there for hours because every new person that comes will just stand in front of you and take the queue. So queues are not a thing in India. But before I end this segment, I have to mention one thing. Big shout out to the Delhi Metro, New Delhi Station. Security guy, New Delhi Station, Delhi Metro. It was the first time in all of my journey in India that I've seen someone actually taking care of the queue and sending people that skip the queue all the way to the back. And if you're an Indian and you know this type of queues, you know that those people, they started a fight. But the security guy, he was hard, he sent them to the back, and he was the one that made my day. Like, shout out to the Delhi Metro. Big shout out. You're making a good example. But to the rest of India, please learn how a queue works. So, to the next point. The next point I gotta tell you about is a very special thing. Indians will instantly know, but for foreigners it's something new. So, what I really hate about India is the spitting. Now you might think, why spitting? Why do people spit? That's what I first thought when I came to Mumbai. And I thought, why is everybody making these weird sounds like and just spitting? Like, I can't even imitate it because my body can't do this sound like. But you Indian guys, you will know. And you will encounter people just everywhere making this super loud sound like they're angry, trying to chop down a tree or something, I don't know, and spit on the floor. And when I first came to India, I was like, why do people do this all the time? Like, why? I've never seen this before. But then I did a quick Google search and I found out it's due to the gutka, to the chewing tobacco. That's also what paints the teeth of a lot of people yellow. No, not yellow, more orange and red. And that's also the reason why all the train stations in India are completely red. Like, it's a perfect example here. This ground, that's the color the Indian train stations have. But not because this is the ground, no. It's because all the people spit their gutka. And I tried it once when I first was in Mumbai. I didn't like it, and I had a lot of comments telling me to not do it, and I didn't do it ever again, but I understand. It makes you spit a lot. Like, your mouth is gonna produce a lot of saliva, but the thing is, why can't anybody stop this? Like, I've never seen a do not spit sign in my life before coming to India. And here in India, out of every sign you can find, the most common sign is do not spit. And even in the last hotel I've stayed at, in the hallway there was a big fat sign saying do not spit. But guess what? All the hotel staff, whenever they wanted to spit, they went to the hallway to spit. So, and then it doesn't even stop at spitting. Like, if you've ever been to an Indian train station, people do the weird angry tiger sound. They spit, they snot everything out of the train, and it's not like it's a thing you see like once a day, like a rare thing. No, it's a thing you will encounter every day, 24/7, the entire year, everywhere. Like, the only place I really haven't seen it was Northeast India, Nepal and Sri Lanka, but depending on how you look at those, you wouldn't even consider those India. So the spitting and the public body hygiene, and I don't know how to call it else, but it's very disturbing, and it leaves a very, very bad reputation on India. And yeah, I wish it would be, I wish people would have like a spit bag or like a trash can to spit at, or just anything, but nobody seems to care. There are signs, but Indian signs, they're kind of worthless, same as traffic rules. So if you're Indian and you know people spitting, maybe tell them to, I don't know, I don't even know what to tell them. But yeah, as a foreigner, this is one of the things that's the most disturbing and disgusting things about India. So without this, India would seem like so much more civilized and progressed. But if you ever been to a Mumbai train station or anything similar, you will see like every trash can, all the rails, everything is just completely red because of all the gutka spit. So I'm not here to judge people, because tobacco is very expensive, cigarettes are expensive, so it's easier to chew gutka. I'm not judging any poor person for chewing gutka, but I'm just saying, maybe reduce it a bit, or try to find a place like this sewage system here or anything, but not just the entire city. Like, yeah, if you walk through Mumbai or Delhi, you will know what I'm talking about. So this video seems to be long. Let's get to the next point. Little break. I had to stop the video because my foot started bleeding and I was searching for a thorn, and then I found out it's sticking right here in my shoe. So gotta take a little break and then to the next point. The next point I truly hate about India. Like, hate is even too soft to describe it. I hate it from the deepest of my heart. It's trying to get a hotel. And I'm not talking about touristy 3-star hotels, or even 5-star hotels, or so the thing that annoys me about the hotels is not the quality, not the price, not the availability of the location. It's much more like the hotels that allow you to stay, because if you're not going for a 3-star hotel or above, you will encounter a very, very common problem. And I've met countless people having the same problem, and it drives you insane. Like imagine it's 40 degrees, you have your backpack, your luggage, and you're walking through India. You booked a hotel, a cheap one, and you arrive and they tell you, I'm sorry, but we can't do your booking because you're not Indian, you're a foreigner, and we don't have a license for foreigners. But yeah, guess what? It's already paid over booking.com or Uja or anything else. It's already paid. Then you ask, okay, so can you recommend any hotel? Or can I get my money back I paid for the entire week? And people will be like, no, I'm sorry. You gotta call the support and try to get your money back and find a different hotel. Then you look for a different hotel. Then you walk in 40 degrees with all your luggage and find the next hotel. And then you enter and you're like, hello sir, I have a booking. And they are like, no, you don't have a booking. You're a foreigner. You're not allowed to stay here. And the next money is wasted. And don't even try to contact the support of a hotel website. Like, I think by now I have called the OU support 7 times and I still don't got a single cent of my money I paid for the hotels. But yeah, like in North Mumbai, it took me 7 different bookings to find a hotel that accepts me, and I lost around $100 trying to get a cheap hotel. So trying to get a cheap hotel would be more expensive than just booking an expensive hotel. In the end, I booked a hotel for $35 a night and stayed there for 1 night because there was just no chance of me finding some other hotel. So if you're not booking touristy hotels that have a lot of stars, chances are like 99% you're gonna get denied. So yeah, I often hear from people like, oh, we never experienced this before. But those are the people booking like very, very expensive hotels. But from all the other people, they all tell me, we face the same problems, we know how you feel, it's crazy trying to get a hotel in India. So as long as you're not in a touristy place, like India Gate, don't be sure that your hotel accepts you. Even if it's paid, even if everything is solved, don't expect to be able to sleep there. Because most likely you're gonna get denied, sent home, and you lost your money. So, I'm talking too long on this point, let's get to the next one. So, the next thing I hate about India, I hope you can hear me in the wind, but it's what we see right here. It's the beaches. Like in India, you have like, let me just guess, but at least 3,000 kilometers of beach. And I'm now in Goa, the most touristy place of India, the place with the most beaches. And still, people hate it. I talked to like 10 different tourists about the beaches of Goa, and they all said it was the biggest disappointment they ever had when traveling. Because it's not allowed to go into the water in India. And yes, before you complain in the comments, I know that most Indians can't swim. But it's still sad that you have so many, so beautiful beaches with thousands of people and nobody is allowed to enter the water. And if you come to the comments now and say, oh, I've been to Goa, it's allowed to enter the water. Yes and no. It's allowed to enter the water knee deep, but not more. Here in Goa, I've been to 8 different beaches. And out of these 8 different beaches, all 8 didn't allow anybody to swim. They allow you to go knee deep into water. They allow you to take some selfies, but they don't allow you to swim. Even though there are not many waves, there are no dangerous currents, there are no sharks, like there are not even fish. Like, so if you're planning to do like a beach holiday, don't come to India. Never ever think about coming to India. Like you can't swim, you can't dive, you can't do anything at the beach. The beach in India is just for selfies. Like in Mumbai obviously, but even in Goa, which is called a beach paradise, there's no place you can swim here. Like I tried 7 beaches, maybe I should try 10 more and maybe find a beach, but no matter which beach I went to, it was just a waste of time and money. So out of all the places I've visited in all of India, 5 times India, the worst experience so far was Goa. Food is expensive, many tourists, no public transport, and the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen, but you're not allowed to go into the water. So my time here in Goa was a complete waste of time, but at least I can walk around and make this video. So if you're a fan of beaches and swimming, don't come to India. Like, it's not a thing here. I've been, no matter where I was, the only thing I did was trying to research where I can swim in a pool, because swimming is my biggest passion. But all the pools are closed, either due to COVID or due to renovation, or they need like a membership, and all the beaches are not allowed for swimming. So that's the thing I truly hate about India. So another thing I hate about India, or about Indian people, is the insane staring. And I'm not talking about like a curious staring, because obviously I'm white, I'm a tourist in the middle of the workers area of Mumbai. Nobody has ever seen a tourist before. So it's fine that people look at me and they're like, oh, what is he doing here? I mean, I even showered in the workers area in one of my last videos, so it's obvious that people stare at me. And I'm used to it, because as I said, it's the 5th time in India. But to this day, there are like some creepy, weird Indian dudes on the train, on the station, or just anywhere. And for some reason, they just stare at me like maniacs. They just stare, and they don't look away. They just stare. And then I come to them and say, excuse me sir, everything good? And they won't even answer. They won't even answer. They would just continue to stare. And then I say, okay bro, everything good? Then I walk 2 meters away and chill, and they will just continue to stare. And they do this for like 5 or 10 minutes non-stop, until they get their train or anything. But they will just continuously stare, and it's such a unpleasant feeling to have a person stare at you non-stop. Even if you're going to the person, approaching the person, talking to the person like, yo, why are you staring at me? And they just won't answer. They will just stare with an open mouth and continue to stare at you. And I'm not talking about like people in their 70s that maybe never seen a foreigner before or something. No, it's like weird 16-year-old guys that just continue to stare at you. And the worst thing is that I'm a guy. Like what would happen if I would be a cute girl? Like, I would leave India instantly after seeing those guys. 100% sure. So like, those guys are weird. I bet my Indian viewers will understand. They know about those creepy guys, and they just stare non-stop, like they've seen an alien. It's weird, but yeah, that's one point I had to add. Let's get to the next one. So another big thing on my list is very obvious. Like when you ask foreigners what do they know about India, the first thing that they think is there's a lot of trash. And yes, there's a lot of trash, because there's a lot of people and people make trash. But the problem is, how do I even start? Like in India there are many different concepts from city to city. Like in Mumbai or even Delhi, for example, people just drop the trash on the ground because they're like, yeah, where else should we put it? And also in the morning there will be a lot of government workers and they collect all the trash. So every morning after 9 a.m. street's gonna be clean. But the evening before, the street's gonna be super dirty. Because everybody that eats something, everybody that drinks something, they will just drop their stuff like it's normal. Because, I mean, what else should they do? There are no real trash cans. Like, I've been to like 20 cities in India, and I've seen trash cans in botanical gardens, but that's it. If you're telling me, oh, there are so many trash cans in India, no, that's nonsense. There are no trash cans in India. Like in South India, people burn their trash. In North India, people just drop it and the government workers collect it on the next day. But what's said, and what's my point for the video, is that it's so normal to drop trash. Like even some of my good friends that are good people, for them it's completely normal after they finish the water bottle to just drop it like it's nothing. And nobody cares, nobody even thinks about it like, yo, why did you just drop a water bottle? But no, people are just like, yeah, that's how it goes. And what makes it even worse are two things. The first one is that parents oftentimes give this behavior to their children. And the second thing is that it's even more okay when it's on a bus or a train. Like I've seen countless times on Indian trains where parents finish their water bottle, they finish their food, and they give all the trash to their children so that they can throw it out of the window. And nobody cares. It's just like, yeah, they're even happy, like, good job, children, thank you for bringing the trash out of the window. And that's the thing that has to be stopped. I know that, for example, cities like Mumbai, they don't really offer much plastic bags anymore and stuff like this, but it doesn't change anything if it's the most normal thing on earth to throw your stuff out of the window. And this is not just a India thing. If you take a bus through the wonderful Himalaya in Nepal, even hundreds of kilometers away from humans, in the deepness of the Himalayas, oh man, there are many crabs here. You will still find thousands of plastic bottles next to the road. And if you ever took an Indian train, then you know how the side of the rails looks. And wow, I would love to show you this. There are so many crabs here. Maybe in the last part of the video. But I know that a lot of Indians have a problem with the trash. I know they don't like it. But it's still sad that it's completely normal to just drop your shit anywhere and nobody won't care. Like whenever I walk through India and I pick up trash, people look at me like I have what could I have, like the plague or COVID or anything else. Like people look at me like I'm an alien just because I collect some trash. So if you're Indian and you see someone dropping his I mean, a paper chai cup is not a problem, but in my opinion, if you would just change one law to make the gutka, the chewing tobacco, the gutka packets forced to be paper, then India would lose like 50% of its trash, of its non-biodegradable trash. Like, it's insane. But who am I to tell you on YouTube about the trash of India? I mean, by now everybody on the world knows about it, so it's just a shout out to the Indian guys, Indian people. Maybe try to change something. And another point I have for you guys, if you watched my previous video, one of my points was conveniency. I love the conveniency and how convenient everything is in India. But this also has a downside. A lot of stuff that's normally very, very easy can be very inconvenient in India. Like, for example, as I mentioned before, getting a train ticket. Like, I remember one time, a few months ago, I was trying to get a train ticket for a place 1 hour far away. And I tried it for 7 hours. And after 7 hours I had to go home without a ticket. Because as a tourist, you will just get sent from office to office to office to office to office. Every time you arrive at the office, you gotta wait for 30 minutes, then you're at the counter. They will tell you, excuse me sir, we can't do anything, you're a foreigner, so you gotta go to this office. And this just goes on the entire day until you did one journey and you're back at the start. Because many Indians don't know this, but in India, as a tourist, you can't just take a regular ticket. You need a tourist ticket. But guess what? For example, at the Delhi station, to this day, even 7 months after India opened up, the tourist offices are still closed and no stuff. Oh no, it's fine. If you watch my last video, I've bought a coconut here, but the prices are just tourist prices, so maybe I should have also put this in the video, but in Mumbai a coconut is 10 rupees. But here they want 100, so I'm not gonna buy a coconut. But where did I stop? Yes, inconvenience. A lot of stuff in India can make you so much more trouble than you ever thought. Like, you think of an easy thing like, tomorrow I'm gonna go to the station, go to the ticket vending machine, buy a ticket and go to a different city. That's not how it works. You're gonna arrive there, you're gonna waste 5 hours going from place to place, and you will find a ticket vending machine, but the ticket vending machine will either not work, and if it works, it will still have a stuff working for the ticket vending machine. So I don't know why they have ticket vending machines in Mumbai, for example, because in the other parts of India I complained about how no station has a vending machine. In Mumbai they have, but they only work if there is a stuff manually using the vending machine. So the queue at the vending machine is most likely bigger than the queue at the normal stuff giving you the ticket. So I don't understand the concept, but in some regards India is just insanely complicated, insanely time wasting for such a big country with such a IT knowledge. So don't make big plans. Don't plan like your entire week in India or your month in India beforehand, because I can promise you it won't work out as you planned. Like, imagine everything that could go wrong or couldn't work out in India, and it won't work out. Like, it starts with so small things that are just no problem anywhere, and India just makes it a crazy problem. Even though in my last video I said India makes your life so much more convenient, in some regards India will make your life hell. But as I said, it's just some parts, it's just sometimes, and overall it's still more than worth it to come here. So otherwise I wouldn't have over 100 videos in India and coming here 5 times. So come to India, expect a lot of convenience, but also expect that a lot of easy things gonna be the hardest things you've ever managed. So thank you for watching.